Hi, and welcome to this episode of Health by M, the podcast with me, Mathilde. And I hope that you are well and having a great week so far. I am actually currently in Miami when I'm recording this, on my way to New York for a very exciting thing that you will probably know about and see if you follow me on Instagram now this Friday when this is released. So stay tuned for more and make sure to check out my Instagram if you want to know what I'm doing. Something very, very fun and something that in one way has to do with what I want to talk about in today's episode. And an idea that I got was to create a little holistic business tips series. So this will be the first episode of that. And I want to talk about using your unique skills and kind of finding the purpose with what you want to do and not being afraid of embracing different and many skills and passions and combining them into your unique fingerprint and your unique offer that you can give to the world and pursue a career within. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I realized that the thing I'm doing this Friday really includes every single thing that I'm so passionate about and all the things I'm doing in my job. So it really is proof that sometimes you can create such an amazing thing thanks to all your different skills and passions, because sometimes, at least I've felt that people often talk about that we have to become good at one specific thing. Like we have to really be, if we want to be not the best, but if we really want to have a great and fun career within something, we should focus on one thing only, and kind of become the expert within that field. But as you know, I've found it hard to just focus on one thing simply because there's so many things within health and wellness and other things in life, honestly, that I love so much and that I want to include in my everyday life and work. So it's been a bit hard for me to just stick to one thing, like, for example, just doing Pilates or just focusing on hypnosis or Reiki or whatever it might be. I really want to include all of these passions into my life. And same with my skills, I think. I mean, I've found ways to combine my job as a holistic wellness entrepreneur and freelance writer, and I've been able to combine them both and kind of take advantage of the fact that I'm doing both things. And another thing that I heard this week that inspired me to talk about this was a great tip. I believe I heard it in another podcast, actually. And it was that rather than thinking about what industry you want to work in, you should think about what tasks you like to do. And that was because this person I heard in the podcast argue that in many cases, we have an idea of what a certain job or working within a certain industry looks like and means. But in fact, it's very, very different. And few people actually know what kind of tasks a certain role includes if you're not, doing that work or having that role already. And I think that's really true, actually, and really resonates. And I mean, just thinking back of the different jobs that I have had before, there were so many things that I realized that I didn't think about. Things like what kind of uniform or workwear you had to wear, how the commute would be, the office. Like there's so many things within a job that you don't think about. At least I didn't when I started certain jobs. And you start to notice that these things, these small things, you might think seem a bit insignificant in comparison to the actual role and job you will be taking. Those things start to matter a lot. At least they started to do for me. I mean, sometimes you just have to do it. You can't be that picky. But if you can choose and if you are thinking about the long run, those things are actually things to consider. So I would really encourage anyone who wants to maybe change the career or create some own business or just find their purpose in life, to really look at what tasks you like and try to listen within and find your passions and see what they are. And don't feel discouraged if they are many and or broad. Like, that can actually be what makes you stand out. So, for example, as I mentioned in the beginning, I love to write, to travel, and take photos, which I do in my job as a freelance writer, but I'm also able to take advantage of those skills and passions as a wellness entrepreneur and business owner. And also, I found different ways of combining both jobs. For example, when I'm traveling, I often shoot content for my websites, Instagram, newsletters, and so on. And in addition, I often write about health conscious places in my travel articles. So I'm able to visit lots of interesting gyms and studios, healthy restaurants, and so on to get inspiration and ideas. So this week, as I mentioned, I'm actually doing one of the most exciting work projects ever in my life. And the reason why I've made it happen is because I've been using all my skills and focused on all the different parts of my work into one big event. And I will tell you more about this in probably next week's episode. And again, I just want to encourage you to take advantage of all your different skills and passions and see how you can combine them. And your thing can actually be that you have all these skills and passions, and you don't have to focus on just one thing if you don't want to. I mean, if you want that, great. But I just want to encourage anyone who's also heard a lot that we have to be quite specific when it comes to business and what we're offering. And yeah, in one way, in certain things, we have to be specific, like what kind of customers we want to reach and like the design or things like that. Then it's good to be specific and kind of narrow, if you know what I mean. But in terms of the things you're offering and what you want to do, I would just say go for it and use the fact that you are unique with your different skills and passions, and that can actually make you stand out even more. If you're a subscriber and regular listener, you probably already know how much I love Sakara, and I have actually discovered a new favorite thing with this incredible brand that I just have to tell you about. So Sakara has these plant-based, organic, super delicious and healthy ready-to-eat meals that you can just order directly to your home. And one of these programs is especially targeting metabolism. And they have different meal programs that you can order. And an effective way to find out which one is the best for you is to take the quiz on their website. And if you haven't tried Sakara yet, you get 20% off your first order on all meal programs and other products if you use the code XOHealthByM and shop through the link I provided in the show notes, where you also find the spelling of the code. And by shopping and using this code, you will also help support Health by M and this podcast as I earn commission. All right, now let's go back to the episode. So unless you really have found one thing that you love, I mean, go for it. But based on my own experience, I would actually encourage you to focus and embrace all your different skills. And like I said, it's something that I've been able to take advantage of and use a lot when it comes to my own work. And I've been able to get certain deals and projects much thanks to the fact that I can do more than just write or teach classes or take photos and so on. So yes, I really encourage you to embrace all of your interests and skills. And in addition, I believe it will make it more fun, and you will be able to really create your own unique mark and service that you can offer the world. And I actually had this mindset already back when I was studying. I remember in high school, I decided to do something completely different compared to my classmates because I just felt that, well, if I'm going to compete with everyone else who's so great, I have to stand out in some ways. So I decided to take certain certificates and courses, study abroad and work and engage in certain, I don't know what it was called, like clubs or something, just to create a resume that was a bit unique. Not that I have actually showed many people my resume. I haven't really had to do that since, especially now, since I have my own business. But I always liked the idea of you having something unique to offer. And the thing is that when we have this mindset, I believe that we can see everything that we do as something that we can learn from. And for example, just looking at my studies abroad in New York, I mean, I learned so many things at those amazing courses that I took, but also things outside of the classroom, such as learning how to be on time, living by myself in a different country, learning and adapting to a new culture, and so on. And those things can actually help you more than you think sometimes. And I believe that when we can look at the things that we like, are interested in, and what we do, what we're good at, we can use all of that and see everything as things that can contribute to our unique offering to the world. And I would love to hear from you what you think about this, and if you have different skills and passions and what they are and how you're able to combine them and be creative with them. I would love to hear stories like that. And like always, I would be so happy for a review, a rating if you haven't left that yet. I'll be back next week, hopefully with an update about the thing that I'm doing this Friday, which I'm so excited about. Whew, a bit nervous too though, so I hope everything goes well. I'll tell you more in an episode where I'm going to talk about all of this that I'm doing and talk about everything from the initial idea to how the event actually turned out. So I'll be back next week. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.